Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your girl is traveling again. I am in a different setup for the day. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. You know I'm going to be here. We got about 30 minutes to go off on the most life changing movie in the last decade for me. I do not like to speak in hyperbole. Yes, I do. But I am so deeply moved. Okay. Funny enough, this What We Watch Wednesday recommendation is Wicked. It's Wicked. You're in here all ready to chat about this film with me today, and I appreciate you. But I'm going to let you know that you probably need to go watch it again. And you probably need to show your children, and your children need to show their children. Because what's been happening today, and ever since Wicked came out, it's giving a break in the time space continuum. It's giving there's been a branch extended strictly off the creation of this film. It's giving that this week's recommendation is Wicked. This is what we watch. Happy Wednesday. Go watch Wicked again and then watch it again and then make sure in like 20, 30 years you watch it again with your family members. So I want to welcome Tej to the stage. Jacob, come on up. This is just 30 minutes of why you loved Wicked, why you love Elphaba, why you love Galinda, why you love this movie. It's great. It's fantastic. We're here to cook. I want to know why they did this to us. So, welcome Jacob to the stage. How much do we
Hello,
know?
Mo.
Hi.
It's been a long time. I haven't talked to you in a while.
How are you? Welcome to What We Watch. Talk to us about how Wicked changed your life.
Okay, well, I have obviously listened to the Wicked soundtrack. I haven't seen the movie yet because
Okay.
I am looking to get glicked or glicked, however they're saying that, this weekend. That's my goal because
As it
I,
should
I
be.
I'm not even kidding. I want to do the double feature because I want the dichotomy in my life. I want the dichotomy of going to see Wicked and then seeing Gladiator 2 all at the same time and just injecting it all into my veins.
Teach. Do you think that he should watch Gladiator 2 first or Wicked first?
Definitely Gladiator 2 first.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, done. Will do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Noted. Like Mark Cuban in the GIF, I will note that down.
And period. Here's the thing, Teach, and let me just be completely candid. Make sure you're tweeting this out and letting everyone join because this is why What We Watch was created. We have to talk about these movies together as a community because if your life is changing, then my life is changing, then our lives are changing, and the film space is changing. I sobbed for about 15 minutes after the movie was over. 15 entire minutes. I recorded myself crying. That's crazy because I never do that. I've always thought you guys were weird for doing that. It's weird to me. That's weird that you guys did it. That being said, I joined you in that weirdness strictly for Wicked. So if you are posting yourself crying because of Wicked, it's okay. It's all right. Um, I think a lot of people decided why we cried and why it was so moving for us. And I want people to know that whatever you think it is, it's that much more layered. It's additionally layered than that. There, you think I cried for this one thing, it's like 17 more things. And as a black woman, as a person that was, can you guys still hear me? Can everyone still hear me?
You can now. You cut out, but you're back.
Okay. As a person that was raised in a community in which I definitely did not fit in any capacity, this movie moved me. And I want to talk about some complaints of the whites eventually, but Tej, you recently watched this film. I've watched it. I watched it almost a week ago now. So talk to me.
I was kind of blown away by it. I will admit that despite my love for Wicked, I've seen the stage play probably 4 or 5 times. despite my love for Wicked, when I first saw the trailer, something did not hit for me, and I was a little nervous. But I was less nervous when I actually sat down because I saw it late or later than most people, and I had already heard a lot of people say a lot of really good things about it. So my expectations were high when I sat down, and I think it surpassed them. I just think Ariana and Cynthia were just perfect in their roles, and they had tons and tons of chemistry with each other. And I think that's what makes the stage play works. That's what makes the movie work is the chemistry between our two leads, our Elphaba and our Galinda. They have to have a sense of chemistry, and I thought that that really accomplished that. And I thought Chu just made a lot of really good decisions as a director. Building those sets out as opposed to CGIing everything is such a fruitful decision, and you feel having tactile sets just makes it feel so much more real throughout the movie. And then we didn't switch up the music. We didn't feel like we had to add a new song. We didn't feel like we had to extend certain obviously we had to extend certain things because I think part one of this movie is a little longer or just as long as the entire stage show with the intermission. So obviously some stuff is stretched out, but it never felt stretched out. And we didn't feel like we had to go change songs. We didn't feel like we had to go bring in Lin Manuel Miranda to come do rap. Like we kept the songs that the people who have seen Wicked 20, 30, 40 times will know and love, and we render them the same way. I thought both women sounded fucking phenomenal in their singing voices. Their performances were just great. I love Jeff Goldblum. Anytime he pops up in something, it's a treat. I just thought that they made a million great decisions. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I'm pretty excited about part two. I think that it's just the power of casting and those two leads is why we got the special mixture that we both got, and I would imagine that both of them will be nominated for lots of awards as we dive headfirst into award season.
Jess, talk to me about how you felt and what you loved about this film.
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away. I will admit I have not seen the stage play, but I remember one of my sisters actually back in like I want to say the early 2000s when Wicked came to Toronto. I have vivid memories of her like being obsessed with it. Like it was like one of the first things that like we really connected on. Like I hadn't really had a chance to know her like growing up. And when, my dad set up this kind of uh day for us to finally meet and talk and have conversations, this is one of the first things that she brought up when I was like a child. She's like, I finally went to go and see this thing and Wicked, it was amazing. And so that was always like a core kind of memory that always was in the back of my mind. And when I saw that, like this was going to be turned into a movie, I love all things music. I think Cynthia Erivo is an amazing singer. I think Ariana Grande uh I wasn't as nervous as I saw like some people kind of thinking that she would maybe not be able to pull this off, or some
Right.
concerns. I knew first and foremost that the vocals were gonna hit. And so I was like,
Period.
okay, if we know that the music is going to be doing what it's supposed to do with these two, as Alphaba and Linda, I was like, okay, we'll
Period.
be fine. Like I think, if that's the foundation, then I trust that everything else will kind of sort itself out. And the
Yeah.
visuals, the casting, Bowman Yang with the with the offhand, like I don't see color. Like just there was so
Yes.
much good happening on the screen.
Yes.
And I was like fully impressed. The emotional moments did exactly what they were supposed to do. The comedy hit when it was supposed to hit.
Mm,
And I
mm.
didn't know, like I also didn't know that there was going to be two parts. um but it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And when you think about the lore and the history of the Wizard of Oz, um
Yes.
like I'm totally along for the ride.
Heck
um
yes.
and I love it. I think it's very clear, like the story that's being told, like Cynthia Erivo carrying all of the symbolism of the character of Elphaba. And yeah, being a
Come
black
on.
woman watching the story again and watching it unfold in this way, knowing how much I could connect to a lot of what was happening on screen. um yeah, I was absolutely blown away.
Absolutely. Corlone, thank you for sharing that story, Jess, with your family. Corlone, talk to us. Welcome to What We Watch. We are celebrating Wicked.
Man, Mo, I can't even. I really don't have too many words because just pretty much laid it all out from the music, the score,
Ugh,
to like the practical sets that Jacob mentioned earlier. Like everything was beautiful about the film. My
yes.
biggest thing was I as a black person, the thing that hit for me the
Mm,
most was the fact of the dichotomy between real life and what Elphaba was going through, just like moving
mm.
through the space. And then as a black man, watching how I've seen my black sisters, my friends, my
Yes.
family members, like women that are powerful, um, being treated as if they're not, or there's something different or something off in real life,
Yes.
like that hit home for me. It's just like, man, like, yo, like this is why they say support black women, believe black women. You
Yeah.
know, black women are strong because they have to be, not because they necessarily want to be, right? So I'm definitely going to go back and go see it again for sure.
Yeah, that's the recommendation for today while we're talking about
I'm definitely going back and go see it for again. I
it.
mean, and then vocals, like just said,
Come on.
I knew Cynthia had range, right? But bruh, yeah,
Thank you.
music career where she could literally she could be a artist of the caliber of Mariah Carey, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, if she really wanted to.
I'm telling
And Ariana, we expected that because she got the
that's my girl.
endorsement from Mimi, all that stuff back in long. Like I knew
Absolutely.
she was gonna kill it, but Cynthia, ooh, and their harmony. Let's talk about that. We
Come
hear
on.
no the harmony. I've
Come
never
on.
heard two voices very so much different and almost so much the same in one um setting like that before. So yeah,
Truly.
that
Truly
that's what
phenomenal.
that's what it was for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thank you for saying that takeaway and sharing that takeaway as a black man seeing black women and those women around you that you could see in the spot of Elphaba, right? I want to bridge together kind of what everyone is saying, from an artistic perspective, from the what we watch perspective, right? Jess, you kind of gave me the perspective without having seen the play, the stage play, the everything else prior to Wicked. And Tej, you kind of gave the perspective that many people your age and older, not my age group, um, no, have shared regarding, going into Wicked and what to expect, right? And I think this movie, seriously, was perfectly designed for a What We Watch chat. And I say that because we have gotten this very, very, very popular, very well known storytelling, right? So we are making a film which is storytelling in and of itself, but there is no gap in the story for Wicked. Everyone is very familiar, even if you're, Jess, even if you're not. A lot of people are very familiar. It is a very, very long standing kind of tale that many people are familiar with. And now you're giving us a film with the leads Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. We have been blessed with not a single misstep in the care that it takes to make a film like this. And it's so cool to be a part of this because, from an artistic perspective, you've got two theater kids, right? And the reason why this is perfect for what we watch is because we're talking about skill, we're talking about talent, and we're talking about dedication to the art and to the audience in and of itself. And that's why we're here. We're here to connect the artist to the audience. And I feel like if I was in the room with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana, I wouldn't even have to say that. They are so acutely aware of how important it is to present and behave and act and share and pour themselves out on screen the way they did for this extremely well-known story, right? And we just translated into film. And I think they were able to do that because of their history, because of their relationship to the play, to the story, and to themselves and their art, but also because John M. Chu created this film that allowed them to do that. And so while I love to center, you know, the my Italian American Cancerian queen Ariana, who I've always stand for forever, from her music to all of her business endeavors, I love to see her as my new film girl. I get everything I want. To Cynthia Erivo, who has had a special kind of trajectory in this business. But there's no lack of talent, there's no lack of dedication, and there's no lack of awareness of what her responsibility is in this film and in everything that she does. But I do have to give it to the director, to the filmmaker, John M. Chu, who allowed and provided this space for these women to absolutely fucking shine in every second. It is very hard. I am not an expert in film necessarily. I may be in a room full of people that watch film. I may be the expert, but I am not an expert. I'm not a subject matter expert necessarily. I strive to be that one day. But I can still speak to you as just someone who is not here to critique film, but just to engage in the art and understand how it affects us, right? I want to be very clear about that. And Wicked affected everyone for a reason. And that is the dedication that every single cast member, including Jeff Goldblum, my future ex-husband, and especially Cynthia and Ariana, I do not want to hear any conversations moving forward in this universe ever about chemistry on screen that does not discuss Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande in Wicked 2024. There should be no discussions in universities, in interviews, without talking about what those two women did. And last but not least, I know I've been potting for a while, but we gotta be honest, right? This movie is 2 hours and 49 minutes. The marketing seemed like it was for 2 years. It feels like they marketed this movie for 2 years. But last but not least, from a marketing perspective, right? I'm a girl that's like, I don't want to see trailers, I don't want to know what's going on. And I have seen the stage play, but I don't think it moved me like TJ's age group and Jacob's age group. But I'm also not in Jess's situation where I was completely unaware of what was happening. And this,
Yes, I'm an old ass. You can
yeah, yeah,
say it. It's
y'all,
okay.
this
Yeah,
is my
don't put
Wicked,
me in his
okay?
age group. We're not in the same age group.
We
Please don't mention those things together.
we
Thank
not
you.
we not in the same age group, teacher. You stay over there, and I love your perspective. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for you and Jacob. But this is my Wicked, okay? This is my Wicked. I've seen both, but this is my Wicked. I feel close to Ariana Grande. I understand Cynthia Erivo. I feel close to them. Jeff Goldblum is my husband. Like, this is what we're talking about here. And just from a marketing perspective, as someone that doesn't want to see trailers all the time and doesn't like all of that, like the Barbie and the Oppenheimer, just bombarded with all this marketing, while I understand it and I appreciate it, it becomes too much to me. And let me tell you, I had to take a step back. I said, you know what? They should have done more marketing. They should have done more. Every interview I see with them, I'm like, give me 17,000 more. Honestly, not seeing this film is a problem. Tej, I saw your hand up. I had to say all of that. We had to talk about it. Go ahead.
I just have to put a little respect on Cynthia Erivo's name. I
Period.
had never seen anything that Cynthia Erivo has been in that left me blown away. I have seen her, and I knew that she was talented. I did not see the Aretha Franklin thing that she won the Emmy for, but I've seen her and stuff, and I think that she's talented. But I've never quite thought that she was a star, and I was wrong.
Mm,
I was so wrong.
mm-hmm.
The amount of gravitas that she brought to the role was mind blowing. Her comedic timing is good. Her facial expressions are perfect. Her voice is perfect. She is a star. I was 100% out to lunch on that. Th- that being said, I love her performance. I think it's perfect. That being said, I literally cannot believe that Ariana Grande could do that. I I did not know that
Do
Ariana
your
Grande
research,
could
honey.
do that.
Do
I
your
knew that
research,
she could
honey.
sing. I knew that she could sing,
No,
but
you're
I
you're
did not
correct.
know that she could act. I did not know that her comedic timing could be that good. And I learned after I saw the movie that she has been obsessed with this role for years and years and years through
Yes.
the development, through different castings, through different directors. She has kept herself attached to this project. And
Since a child, she's been in Wizard of
since she
Oz.
was a kid, she's
Yes.
obsessed with this role, and you could tell that she knows the beats of the role front and back.
Yes.
So she was really free to add her own spin to the role because she knows the basic role. She knows the text. She knows
Yes.
exactly the notes that she's supposed to hit, which gives her freedom to operate on her own accord. And it shows. It shows her passion for that character and her passion for this project. I thought she was mind blowing. I thought she was perfect. I thought she was the best Galinda I've ever seen. And I've seen probably three or four Galindas, including the
Thank you.
original Galinda. Like I've
Thank you.
seen I've seen Galinda done. Like the prototype is the original Galinda. Everybody else is copying that performance to some
Exactly.
extent. And I thought that she's just the best. I just couldn't believe in no world did I expect for this movie to be on the same level as the stage show. I just never expected that.
And
And they really did it. And I can't believe they did it.
I find that so fascinating, right? I appreciate that perspective. Knowing you're and welcome if I may welcome you as an Arianator. Okay, welcome. We are here. We've been here. It's so interesting to hear people, kind of. I talk with all of my clients outside of what we watch and in my other 15 jobs that I have. And as soon as I tell people to go watch Wicked, that's one of the first things they say is, well, how does it compare to the stage play? And do you know how profound that is, right? And how powerful it is for the word that came up to you, as you just said, is copy, which is something that, a word that I wanted to avoid using because, quite frankly, it doesn't even render itself, useful in application to this film. Like it doesn't even matter that it's copied. This was a special completely it was fabricated with the elements needed, but it outshone. It's like it was just outshining every expectation. And I think it's special for a project, for a film, for a collaboration, for a community, for a family to live in that universe, because you got to think about it. I've been doing this for 4 years. If there is something that is based off of something else, we just had the movie Gladiator chat. If there is a work, a project, a piece, a show based off of text that has already been written and plays that have already been seen and characters that we've already been introduced to. There is a thread. And sometimes, and at almost all times, there is someone that comes out and says, well, in the book they did this and I preferred this and I preferred that. And at every single beat and every single moment in this film, there are zero notes. There was not one thing missed, and that is doing your research. If you learn anything from this film, do your research, respect the people and their art because they are dedicated. John, Jeff, Cynthia, Ariana, they are dedicated. And if you want to be this good at something and touch this many people through film or through anything that you do your work and dedicate yourself and just absolutely pour yourself into it, from pre-pro marketing to the work itself to afterwards talking to your audience and connecting. That is why we're here. Corlon, go ahead. Corlon, go ahead.
Oh, well, when Tej was talking about Ariana and the comedic timing, I had to take it back for those who are true orientators, all the way back to Sam
Hmm.
and Cat.
Thank you.
No, actually before that, Victorious.
Thank you.
Like she made those shows.
She made them.
The reason Victorious was such a successful show was because of her
Ari.
character
Yep.
Ari. Um,
Yep.
uh, yeah, like
Thank you.
I know her character was Cat, but I'm saying like the thing like when seeing her hit those beats, especially with the little hair flips like that, I was like, oh,
Exactly.
that's Cat. I love that. And like, but she brought it like it's more an adult spin without the creepy Nickelodeon thing. But that's neither here nor there. But
Thank you.
no, her comedic timing, and it wasn't even like it wasn't. Even, I wouldn't even say it was comedy. It was just like what's another word? Not it's not. It wasn't. It wasn't comedy. It was just the light, the airiness of her character, the airiness that she brought to just kind of like this bubbly. That's the word I look for. It
Yeah,
was bubbly. It wasn't even funny. It was just like, oh, like that's cute. I like that. And she did it so well and so organically and so naturally. But yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
It, we're doing a disservice to this film to keeping this to a 30-40 minute chat. And, my only regret is that we can't praise it more. But Jess and Jacob, absolutely, I'm going to let you guys speak. But a lot of the layers in filmmaking and what makes a movie so great and what brings us together is found in this film. Everything, every single element that you think that makes a good movie, it's here. Storytelling, comedic timing, beats, acting, set pieces, talent and voice. This is a musical. Okay. Think about the last four musicals you've watched. I can probably name you one, The Color Purple. Think about them. Think about the critiques that musicals get and tell me why you've seen no gaps, zero notes. There is not one bit of that 2 hour and 49 minute runtime where you are like, I'm out, man. And there's a reason for that. There's not 1 second, not one beat in that movie where you're like, I'm out, I don't get it. The pacing was fantastic. The when each character got their own solo, it made sense. We bridged together the community outside of that supported our leads. Okay. Do you know how difficult it is to still be dedicated and we're not really focusing on our leads at the time with the animal and the goat and things like that? These things matter. This is a real movie, right? And I heard the little shade you threw, Tej, at Hamilton. Say that, okay? Say what needs to be said, quite frankly. Think about the musicals that you've watched and remember that this is a musical. There's people that wholeheartedly, with no hesitation, say, "Oh, I'm not a big musical person." Well, it's not a conversation we're having, guys. This is not a conversation we're having about Wicked. We're not doing that. Go watch the movie.
Those people are not serious
They're not
people.
serious people.
They're not.
There's nothing to discuss outside of go watch the movie. I can't even. I'm telling you, I don't even process when people say I don't like musicals. Even if Wicked wasn't here, I'd still not. I'd probably be like willing to have the conversation. I don't even process it. When I said to go see Wicked, did nobody say nothing about you don't like musicals? I said go
People
watch Wicked.
people will tell you they love music and they love movies, but somehow they hate musicals, even though there's literally music in every movie. I've never understood that take. I've never understood that.
Kendrick's hate is the only thing that could beat Wicked this year. You know how powerful you have to be up top with
That
Kendrick's hate?
that's true because he did beat him out for #1 album. So hate still wins. The hate still wins
Hate still
always.
wins. But I mean, Wicked gave you a loathing. Okay, listen to the soundtrack. Wicked gave you a loathing track. Okay, just put Kendrick on the loathing track. Okay, Jess, go ahead.
That's so funny. Hate still wins. No, but I want to like keep hitting that point about the excellence and the work and again I also want to make it very clear. I did not get to see Wicked, right? And as a Jamaican Canadian, like my parents came to Canada when they were in their teens and I was like a little young when Wicked was like really just like blowing up in Toronto, and being able to talk to my sister about it was an awesome thing. But I am not unaware of the weight and the influence, right? Like I hummed along to popular Teach, to your very point. That's also why I wanted to say up front, I have not seen this, but it moved me and it blew me away because I am a person who loves music. I love jazz, I love gospel, hip hop. You'll catch me in the
Yes.
Kendrick conversations, all of that. It would be ridiculous as a woman who loves music and as a woman who loves film to not go to Wicked and see
Come
the
on.
work, the blood, the sweat, the tears. From even like the practical, like I saw an interview where one of the set designers said he planted all of the hundreds of those tulips that you see in Munchkinland. They built the world. You see the bubble
Mm,
being made for Galinda. Like all of that is to be applauded, and you can see it like immediately, like from the
yes.
first shot. You see the
Yes.
detail. You see the love of the art. This for me,
Jess,
honestly,
can you hear
like
me? Can
yes,
everyone hear me?
yes, we can hear you. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
We
can
can
y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we
yeah, we
hear
can hear
you,
you.
Mo.
We can hear you.
Okay, it's my audio. Forgive me. Go ahead, Jess.
Uh,
I don't know if you were wrapping up. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just landing with like yes, like I was not unaware of the weight of what this movie would mean for so many people. And I just like walked into it knowing, okay, these two leads, I think I can trust with this. Of living my dream. Yeah, I'm probably gonna shed a couple of tears when I talk about it. So I don't think it's as funny as everybody is making it. I think it's actually been a really beautiful thing. And beyond seeing this movie again, the more I think about it, the more like I think when there's an opportunity to, like, I'm gonna put this in some sort of collection. Like I have like a digital collection of movies that I always want to go back to and that I want to share with like with my friends and family. Like these are the movies that I just think stand above and beyond to me. And I think this and part two, when it comes, is probably going to have to be in that list because there's just too much detail, there's too much work, there's too much excellence on the screen. And then practically with the music and what they're doing, Ariana is dancing. She is dancing, dancing. Like we can talk about what they're doing with the music, and that is to be expected. And I knew that Cynthia was going to bring the weight and the gravitas with her performance. Um, None of that surprised me. But when I look back at exactly what Ariana was able to do and how perfectly she embodies this role of Galinda, all of it is to be applauded. And I will be returning to this film often.
Okay, that was amazing. I could not agree more. This is especially because it's like I don't have any kids, but I can this is a movie you can take your kids to over and over, and your kids are gonna love it just as much as you. So I definitely think that's a great point. I'm gonna toss to Jacob.
There we go. Okay. Um, as I said earlier, I haven't seen the film yet, but one of the things that I knew would make this film work, the vocals obviously have to be nailed if you're going to do a movie of this musical on screen. But
Mhm.
if you're going to make this work, this particular musical, the chemistry between the two leads has to be absolutely on point. And from what you two and everybody else who are saying so far, they've nailed this. And it didn't matter who they were casting. I love the fact that they cast Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, but it
Same.
was still one of those, okay, let's wait and see how it happens. But you
Right.
knew if you saw anything from the original Broadway musical, you knew that the chemistry between Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel was immaculate. And
Yes.
so that is what makes this film. Jeff Goldblum is a great addition as the wizard, and I can't. I love Jeff Goldblum. Period. End of story. So
Perfect.
I mean, I can't wait to see him in
Perfect.
this role. Honestly,
You can do no wrong.
but
It's perfect.
yes, Mo, we understand. We know where you're coming from. We realize that he's going to marry you one day. We get it. We know.
Thank you. Thank you. This is what we watch. Hi, Jeff
I
Goldblum.
just want a wedding invitation, and I just want to be able to sing at the wedding. That's all I care about. Um,
Oh, you got now. She got a voice.
oh,
Hold on.
sweetheart, I can sing. Believe me. Um, I I
I
have
know.
pipes. I do. I do. I was singing Christmas. I was
So
singing Christmas music on our radio station, doing live Christmas song returns this during PM Drive this evening. So yes,
so we got about 4 minutes left, so I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to share their perspective on this film. Those of you in the audience, you want to come up and say what you got to say. But I wanted to re-emphasize, just from again, thanks for joining What We Watch. We are in year 4, okay? And the recommendation is during this chat. The recommendation is to go watch Wicked. If you have watched it once, go watch it twice. If you've watched it twice, go watch it a third time. Okay? If you are a filmmaker, go watch it. If you're a casual moviegoer, go watch it. If you hate musicals, go watch it. If you love them, watch it. If you hate Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, go watch it. If you don't know, go watch it. That is the
give it a
recommendation.
chance.
I think it is a disservice to the self, to yourself, to not watch this movie. Tej said something very, I think very accurate. You cannot say that you love music and you cannot say that you love movies and tell me that you don't love musicals, right? We can critique art as we so desire. That is why we're here and what we watch. And most of this critique in this space should be wow, perfect. Tens across the board, chef's kiss. I want to be Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. That should be the only takeaways, or Jeff Goldblum. But I think what's very important about this film is the impact. Recently we had Beyonce kind of win number one pop artist, right? And I think that's profound. And let me land this plane here. I think that's profound for a couple of reasons, but namely because recently with the Cowboy Carter release, Beyonce was very intentional about divorcing ourselves from genres. And what does genre really mean? And why do we have categories and little different grading scales for certain things? We're talking impact. We're talking cultural impact. We're talking about how we affect our audience, right? And I bring that entire, idea and discussion into, and I insert it into Wicked as a film, and as what we watch. There is a cultural impact. There is a profound change that's being made in everybody that's watching this. Whether it's Tej, who's like discovering that Ariana Grande is really that girl, or it's me that's like, wow, I feel seen finally in a movie fully in every second. Or if it's Corleone that's like, wow, Cynthia Erivo will always be Elphaba to me. Okay. I think when you can walk away from a movie and find community and find yourself in the movie, are any of you actually green and struggling and have superpowers? No. Are any of you actually Galinda? Are any of you actually a fraudulent wizard? Maybe that's probably the closest thing most of you are, is a fraudulent wizard, like Jeff Goldblum's character. But if I don't have to attach myself to a character in this fictional, beautiful universe, in a way that makes sense to me. Again, like I said, I was a little bit dragged by Galinda. I was a little bit dragged by Galinda. I'm not going to lie. But that is powerful. That is the power of filmmaking. And just to close this out, if anyone wants to come up, just raise your hand and come on and speak. I believe Diner, did you get to speak, Diner? My audio messed up for a bit.
Um, I went to go see the movie on Thanksgiving with my mother, an older white lady, who was also white like me, and we are in Great Falls, Montana, where there is not very much I don't know, diversity, I guess you could call it. But we loved it, and the people loved it, and I don't know what else. Yeah, I mean, I've been an Ariana Grande fan for since she was on Nickelodeon, as well as a lot of the other people in this chat. So um, I'm glad she's shining out right now, and I love Cynthia Irvine, or, well, her as well. So yeah.
Brother, I just want to give you props, and I want to say keep living your truth, and props to you for living where you're living and still championing what you do. Because damn,
Yeah, yeah. There's
Um,
a lot.
Thank you so much. I think my camera's off. Can everyone hear
yes,
me
We hear
still?
into you.
Awesome. Tej, wrap us up, please. Let us know what we need to take away from this chat, and how you felt about Wicked, and what you want to tell the people that
Well,
haven't
I
seen it.
can't help but think in terms of the Oscars, and you are going to hear a lot about this film at the Oscars. It's kind of perfect. Our two leads will no doubt be nominated for Best Supporting and Best Actress, and Revo is only an Oscar away from the EGOT, so you'll be hearing about that. And you just think about all the work that these two women had to put in terms of doing this kind of filmmaking, also doing stage work. Like they have both put in so much time acting, singing, performing, and all that pays off so much because they are both like two perfect people to do what they do. And you see that all that time and effort put in, and there was no one else that they could have cast that would be ready for the moment like these two people. Like it is rare that even the best casting is you walk out of a movie theater and saying, "Yeah, I don't think anybody else could have done that the same way." That is very rare, especially when you're talking about it's extremely rare, and it's even more rare that people of color get those opportunities to even showcase that kind of stuff. So it is just a pretty amazing accomplishment for those two women, for Chu, for everybody involved with the project, and they're gonna clean up at the Oscars. And I'm very excited to see the awards they get, and I just can't wait to see them all having their moments and celebrating what they were able to create. That's it. I think most.
I'm
There you
going
go.
to assume everyone can hear me. I think it's been very clear that I've had lots of technical issues. The universe is hating, but that doesn't stop anything. Thank you so much for joining. I am elated by this community. Thank you so much. Spread the word for Wicked. Shout out to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Truly a treasure to witness this work and this art. Thank you, and we'll be back next What We Watch Wednesday, hopefully with significantly less audio and visual issues. Thank you again. This is What We Watch. Happy Wednesday. Bye bye.